Well, howdy. Welcome to Cryptid Caravans. We're hauling new monsters all the time. Pull! Missed again. Well, we're going to take a look at a big old pigeon that's been terrorizing the Midwest. The Illinois Piasa Bird. Or the bird of evil spirits. Or the bird that devours man.
The bird was first spotted in the town of Leaning Tower, Piasa, Illinois.
Oh, I'm kidding, ain't no such place exists. Pull!
It is rumored to reside in the area of Alton, Illinois, about 25 miles north of St. Louis.
And while it's called a bird, well, it isn't really described as such.
It's described as being the size of a horse. Its head has fangs that stick up from its bottom jowl, and a pair of deer antlers on top. The wings on it are more bat-like than bird, but it does have eagle talons as feet. Its slender tail is almost as long as the rest of the creature.
And it can snort fire out of its nose. Man, whoever was thinking this thing up, they're having a pretty good day. And there's a few possibilities of who that might have been.
Well, some say it originally started eating deer in the Illinois woods, but after an ancient war, it began to feed on human corpses.
But there's a legend more often related. Pull!
A village of Indians belonging to the Illinois tribe were situated near a river.
Well, most likely the mighty Mississippi.
Some of the men were fishing one morning when this large piazza bird swooped overhead and snagged one of the fishermen right off the bank.
Turns out he was the catch of the day.
This event would repeat itself over the next few months until the village turned to their leader, Chief Owatoga, for a solution. Well, he communed with the Great Spirit, and with the help of the village arrow maker, he hatched a plan.
He told the villagers they just had to have a little faith.
The Great Spirit told him the bird was only vulnerable under its wings. And when the Piasa Bird returned the following morning, it found only Chief Owatoga standing alone in a field. As the creature swooped down, the chief hit the dirt and grabbed onto some tree roots. The bird sank its claws into Owatoga, but couldn't carry him off. Soon the rest of the village appeared from the bushes and began firing poison-tipped arrows at the bird. Well, when the bird started to look more like a pincushion, it released the chief and plunged over the side of a cliff into the river.
Well, after that, the Illini didn't have any more troubles from the bird. Pull! Well, to celebrate, the village arrow maker, he went out and painted a mural of the bird on a nearby cliff.
And this painting is where most of the Piasa Bird legend starts. In 1673, French missionaries Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet found this painting while floating down the Mississippi. Marquette made a sketch of it, which was lost to time, and also remarked the painting was too good to be painted by a savage.
A 17th century French Jesuit, not exactly the beacon of progressiveness.
A few other explorers made notes about encountering the painting in the late 17th century, with one of the last ones in 1698, reporting the image had started to fade. Soon it would completely erode away, especially since it said the local Indians would fire arrows and later bullets at the picture as they passed by.
And the Piasa Bird would fall out of the public consciousness after that until about 1836.
Professor John Russell would give some backstory to the painting seen in the 1600s. It was Russell that gave the bird its name as well.
Now don't forget this guy. He's gonna come back up later.
The next entry into the bird's legacy would be during the 1920s. Two brothers from Alton went out, found an unassuming cliff, and repainted the Piasa Bird mural that had long faded away.
Nothing limestone can stay.
Well, in the 50s, they had to tear down the cliffside to widen the highway, and for 30-some years, Alton would carry on without a Piasa Bird. Finally, in 1984, the town painted another Piasa Bird.
And this time they painted it on sheet metal so that it would last. Pull!
Well, it rusted off the cliff, and they took what was left and stuck it at the local high school football field. The most recent attempt was in 1999, when Alton resident Dave Stevens painted a new mural on a cliff that's still there today.
But give them another 2 years and they'll probably have to paint them a new one. And pull. Ha! Got that one. Now, as you've noticed, I've spent most of this episode talking about paintings and not a cryptid. Well, there's a reason for that.
There's not a sighting one of the bird outside of the Illinois legend, and this is where Russell comes back in. So he's the first one who told the story of Chief Owatoga.
And it's said that on his deathbed he admitted to fabricating the whole legend.
It may be worth mentioning that Russell was a professor of Greek history, and the bird he described does look more like a Mediterranean monster. Russell didn't fabricate Jacques Marquette though, so there's a painting that existed in the 17th century, but Marquette didn't quite describe the bird as mentioned earlier.
There weren't even a mention of wings in Marquette's account.
As for what he saw, some explain it with Native American legends, or even early Chinese explorers in America.
Being the Piasa bird ain't as famous, there ain't as many references to it in popular media.
It made an appearance in the Secret Saturdays, and there's a few books featuring it, like Gunsmith's The Legend of the Piasa Bird.
The Piasa bird is very much a cryptid only in name. With no real sightings, it's akin to the Pope-licked monster, born of folktale and urban legends. Still, detailing the history of how this bird's become an icon for the little town of Alton has been enjoyable. Seeing how these stories grow and become our American myths, well, that's what I like most about cryptids. But I'll let you decide. Uh-oh. I'm sensing some B-movie shenanigans in my future.